go.
Now, if you hear that, you know that I have Michael Henderson. He's the owner of Tapestry Insurance Group. He's in the house with me. Yes, and this is your season. You know, we like to say that every day is a Medicare day, but now it's
really true.
It's So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in your world right now.
Yeah. So yeah, as of the 1st of this month, we could actually talk about next year's plans. So that's good. Annual enrollment actually starts the 15th, so that's the time where we can change plans. So yeah, a lot going on.
A lot going on,
Yeah.
and if you're a senior, you might want to listen up, because the first thing is I got to talk about Michael, okay? Because I'm going to let you relax. You're tired. You've been doing a lot of, studying these days.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about you. First of all, you are a seniors advocate, for sure. And you are all about educating. That's one of the things that you really like to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about education, really. There's a lot of confusion out there, and you can't make a choice unless you're educated on your choices, I believe. So, or just even the basics of Medicare. By the way, a lot of changes this year. So this is a year where if you have not looked into things, or your friends and family haven't, this is the year you need to, because things are changing with the prescription drug side of Medicare. And this comes from the government, CMS, Center for Medicare Services. So yeah, a lot of changes. So this is the year.
This is the time that you want to make sure that you are on the right plan for you.
Yeah.
And one thing about Michael too is that you cover the entire Southwest.
Yep.
And what I love about him too is that you know, when you call, you might either get Michael or you get somebody, but you always like to talk to your clients and find out a little bit about them, because what you can do is help them make sure that they have little Michaels like you, they're all under you, that can help you in your area. Why is that so important?
I think it's important because, well, my belief is you need a local agent that knows the market, that knows the doctor networks, knows the demographics of the area, things like that. You could talk to somebody over the phone and get some information, but they're not going to know you and your area. And I think that's a problem. You know, if you're talking to somebody, we're talking about Timbuktu, Florida, you know, a call center.
Look at that. You might be there right now. Run if you are.
You call, you get somebody in a call center. They can look up the plan information, but are they really looking up all the doctors? Are they looking at, you know, how close doctors are that live to you? If you need a new doctor, are they helping you find a new doctor? You know, things like that. And that's all important to me, because your insurance plan is only good if you know how to use it, and if you use the benefits that you're entitled to under that plan. So that's important.
And you know, with medications, first of all, I think I've talked to you about this before. Well, medication is something that changes with a senior almost daily. You know, I'm going to talk about this for a second. My ex-husband, who was on a certain medication that a lot of seniors are on, or people that are on, and they upped it. You know, it wasn't that they changed the medication, but they changed it to a huge different dose.
Yeah.
And that could change things. Am I correct on that?
That can change pricing. You know, one drug could be at 5 milligrams, it could be one price, and at 35 milligrams, totally different.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you'd think, I mean, I guess it stands to reason maybe there's a little bit of difference in that because of the amount, but it can be substantial, actually. So, this year formularies are changing. You know, it doesn't matter if you're on a supplement with a prescription drug plan, or you're on a Medicare Advantage plan with a prescription drug plan. My belief this year is you need to talk to an agent, because the prescription drug plan changes could be good for you, but it may also change the other plan that you're on because of the benefits changing within those plans and things. So, so this may sound like more of an ad than I normally do, but it's true. I think everybody needs to talk to an agent this year.
And definitely talk to someone like Michael, because you know, first
of
all, he is not you are a people person. You really truly are. You love your clients, and you love what you do. It exudes from you, and that's one thing that I love about you too, is that you're all about just educating them and talking to them and making sure that they are on the right plans. But what he does is get to know you, and you become a client for life, basically.
Yeah, I've got clients that have been with me for years and years and years. And we talk to them very often too. You know, every year we visit. I just visited one before coming here that's been my client for probably 10 years or so.
Wow, that's awesome. Because you know what, you really get to know they trust you. And that's really, this is all about trust. You need to, that's another thing right now. Folks, with this changes that you're talking about, to me, what's really important is that you have somebody that's looking out for you, making sure that you don't even have to. They'll call you, you can talk to him and say, hey, you know what? Let me look at this, let me tell you what you need to do, and we'll look at it and see if it's the right plan for you, and then you make your own decision. I know you're like about
Exactly. With me, you're in the driver's seat. With any of our agents, actually, you're in the driver's seat. So when you call our office, you'll talk to Norma, you might talk to myself if I'm not out at an appointment or something. We're going to get you with a local agent. If you're in Sun City West, or if you're in Festival, or if you're in Prescott or something, we're going to get you connected with a local agent. But you're in the driver's seat. They're going to help you and explain to you things, but ultimately, you know, you don't have to change plans. If your plan you're on is good and it's working for you, great. But if not, there are options.
Now, the phone number to call is 480-847-0701. This is a free service to you folks. It just makes sense, really.
Yeah.
But also, when you call, we have to say this every single time.
Leave a
Because you
message.
got to leave a message. The reason why is because why?
Yeah, so Medicare dictates that we can't call somebody out of the blue, so we have to have what they call permission to contact, which means you've called us and said, hey, would you give me a call? I want to talk to you about our Medicare, or my Medicare stuff. So, you know, for you, if you're on Medicare, you know, give our office a call. If you have friends or family that are on Medicare, it's just as important. You know, your health insurance impacts your financial well-being. It obviously impacts your health. So I think this is a good year to really check things out, especially if you haven't looked into it for a couple of years.
Especially in your financial situation. And right now, everybody, and especially seniors, we do think about that. The number to call is 480-847-0701. In terms of talking about this with people who are, let's say, haven't looked at their plans in a long time. What is the process? I mean, they might be sitting here going, oh my goodness, what do I do? Some people don't even know the first thing to do.
Actually, that's a great question. I don't even know if we've ever talked about that.
I don't know.
Well, first of all, as you said earlier, there's no cost to meeting with one of our agents. We get paid by the insurance carriers if you make a change. Again, you're in the driver's seat. There's no pressure with us. But the process. So what we want to do, we want to get a feel for who you are and how you're doing it. Obviously, what insurance plan you're on currently. But we're going to have you, if you want to, let us take a look at your list of prescriptions. We're going to take a look at those. We're going to do a comparison between the drug plans and see which plan looks like it covers your drugs, first of all, and then which plan looks like it covers your drugs at the best rates. And then after that, we'll look at doctors and their plans and things and kind of help you narrow down plans. Just Medicare Advantage plans alone, gosh, I don't even know at last count, there's probably 70 Medicare Advantage plans here, plus prescription drug plans, plus supplements here. There's a lot of confusion. And it's a good thing to have competition in these plans. It's a good thing for the consumer. What's hard is that there's so much confusion that people can't make a decision. Right?
And I would not know. And why is it so important that people don't try and do it on their own?
Well,
especially this year.
Yeah, actually, case in point, I was with a client this morning, and she says, "Yeah, I got the book from Medicare. It listed all the plans." The problem is that book is basically an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper or page, and they list all the plans in your market. But all you're seeing is a couple co-pays and the max out of pocket. You don't see doctor networks. You don't see all your prescription tiers. You don't see behind the scenes, behind the curtain, so to speak, right?
So that is where you come in.
Yep.
And let me tell you something. It's so fabulous to be able to speak with someone like Michael, who is your seniors advocate, and he services the entire Southwest. This is what also is nice about him. He will find you someone in your area that will understand your plans in that area. That's the most important part.
I think so. Yeah. And there are options. There are plans, lots of plans, and some are going to fit better than others.
Then you won't know until you find out. It is a free service to you. Seniors, this is your season coming up, and you have that chance to make those changes. Make sure it's the right one. So give them a call. That phone number is 480-847-0701. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further. Woohoo! So we're keeping
Wake up, everybody. Oh, very good.
It's Medicare season. Wake up. Wake up.
Time for a nap. Oh,
So anything else that we need to get to in terms of what's going on this season?
No, it's, we can talk about the changes, probably to prescription drug plans a little bit.
Okay.
I just wanna make sure that people know that this is an important year, I think, to really look at things.
Okay.
There are obviously people that never re-quote their car insurance and things like
Right.
that, and that's fine. But this year could have some impacts because plans are changing and things
Okay.
like that. So I think that's the most important thing.
Okay, you have to go?
I have to go.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, pleasure.
Yes.
We will get in touch with you.
Yes, we'll be in touch. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.
So, yeah, so we can talk a little bit more. The prescription drug, change for the good, for some people anyway, is that the max on covered prescription drugs is $2,000 for 2025.
Okay,
Which means people that are on, really expensive prescriptions are gonna be capped out at 2,000 and then it goes to zero after that.
okay,
So the coverage gap this year was, more than that.
I got you.
So I think that's one of the biggest changes, but that change by itself then imposes other changes because the carriers have to rework numbers to make everything work with the
Mhm.
money that they get from
Okay.
Medicare. So that's why it's important, because that little change to the prescription drug side actually impacts the medical side on Advantage plans.
So does it gonna change their money out of
Could
pocket?
change co-pays and things like that,
Uh-huh.
it depends on the plan,
Mm.
We've been really blessed over the last 10 years, these plans have gotten better and better every year, so good that it's,
Mhm.
some states and some plans have, pest control.
I think
included
that
in their
also,
plan,
at
so
some
we've gotten
point,
off base.
something's gotta change,
Yeah.
it's not gonna stay stagnant, it's the
Exactly.
same all the
Yeah,
time.
and so they have to make changes and kind of get back to medical insurance,
Yeah,
so,
that's,
yep. You got
got 1 minute.
So, yeah, but I think for the most part, it's good. It's just gonna be a shock to a few people out there.
Yeah, I think they need to just realize that they need to talk to somebody this time,
Yeah.
for sure,
Yep,
for sure.
yep.
Whether they like their plan or not, just to make sure.
Yeah.
It just makes sense because it's free, why not? I don't understand why people don't,
Yeah,
to be
you
honest
should.
with you.
Yeah, they should. And if they're on a good plan, great, stay on it. But if you need a change, now's the time.
Yeah.
So, as it is every year, just,
Right, but it seems
more
so-
important this year for
Yeah.
some odd reason.
Well, you said there's a lot of changes, that's what you said.
Yeah. Oh, I was ready. I'm getting all warmed up. I'm ready.
We're still on, I think we're okay on this thing, yes. So welcome back, everyone. Woo! We are talking with Michael Henderson. He is the owner of Tapestry Insurance Group. You have been in this business for a very long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been in the business longer than I've had the agency. I mean, I started as an agent, so
Wow.
yeah.
So, but
15
you-
years or so, yeah.
Are so passionate about what you do and helping people and educating them. We've said it over and over and over again with you. You are all about educating your clients. At the break we were talking, there's going to be some changes.
Yeah.
It's very important that people listen up if you're a senior, that this year of all years, it's just a really good idea to speak to someone like Michael. He is fantastic. He is your seniors advocate and will help you understand some of the different changes that have happened this year that have never happened before.
Yeah, I think Center for Medicare Services, the government entity that oversees Medicare, this year, for next year, made some changes to the prescription drug side. Many of the listeners have probably read articles and heard about it, but the prescription drugs are capped now at $2,000 on covered prescriptions. So if a drug's in your formulary, whatever you're paying on your copayment goes toward that $2,000. Sounds like a lot of money, and that is, but for people that are on $500 a month prescriptions or something like that, or 200 or even 100, that money can add up. So we're used to hearing buzzwords like the coverage gap or donut hole over the last, since I've been doing this, and it can really add up for people. So this year they've taken basically the coverage gap and donut hole away. There's a flat, cap to it of $2,000. So you'll pay maybe a deductible and your co-payments up till $2,000, and then it goes to zero on your prescription drugs. So pretty amazing.
That could happen fast.
It
if
can
you've
happen
got
fast. Folks
expensive
that are on
drugs.
insulin, you guys know how expensive that can be. Some of these other drugs that are high priced or fancy stuff you see on TV or whatever it might be, they add up very, very quickly. So that's a good thing. With that change, that one small change, or it's a big change actually, we're also going to see changes to your copays and benefits on your Medicare Advantage plans as well. Not necessarily a bad thing. They've just gotten so good that, like we talked about at the break, something's got to give. So you may see your dental go down a little bit. You may see copay changes and things. But that's why it's important to get with a local agent and check your plan to make sure that that's still good for you. With the drug changes, the formularies might change. So your drugs may change tiers. There's just a lot that goes into it. Too much to go into on the radio.
Well, but here's the thing. It is such a wonderful thing that it's a free service that it really just makes sense to speak to Michael and have that consultation with him, find out what's going on in your world, because you're the ones with the medication, and that's what you really start with, I'm sure.
Yep.
And then what are we going to find out? Are we going to find out if this plan is right for you, or maybe we need to change? And every single senior, as far as I'm concerned, this year of all the years, give him a call. I think that's important.
I think you should. You know, if you're not in the Medicare population, tell your mom, tell your dad, aunts and uncles, friends, neighbors, because not everybody is going to know about these changes. Here's a little statistic. I was talking to one of the large carriers about 2 months ago. Everybody gets what's called an annual notice of change this time of year. Actually, it probably should have hit your mailbox at the beginning of this month. ANOC letter. It's basically the changes to your plan for next year. Statistically, only between 5 and 10% of the Medicare eligibles read that. That leaves 90% of people that won't know what their plan's going to do for next year until they go use it next year.
Oh my gosh, and that's really scary, because if you use it next year,
it's already changed.
You have no choice, and now maybe your doctor's not in that network. That's really bad.
Or your prescription's changed, or whatever it might be. Point being, read that ANOC letter, I would say first, the annual notice of change. But get with an agent to discuss it as well.
Now, his phone number is 480-847-0701. Leave a message so he can call you back. Those are the rules in Medicare. Leave a message and he'll call you back and he'll show you how he can help you. It's a free service to you. If you're not in his area, he does service the entire Southwest, so he has other people that he can connect you with that'll all be able to help you the same way.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if you're in Mesa, Tempe, Scottsdale, Sun City West, Festival, Prescott. We've got agents in those areas to serve you that are happy to come out, meet with you. You can come to our office too, by the way. We're at 805 North Dobson Road in Mesa, right by Bosa Donuts, so you can get yourself a donut, come in. But you're welcome to come by the office too. You can call and schedule an appointment there, or just come by. The office is open between 9 to 5. My office manager's there. Oftentimes we have agents there. Ready to go as well, but we're glad to help you out either way.
So right now, people can call you and start talking about it, and do you kind of get them set up so that on the 15th they just boom or automatically do it, or how does that work?
Yeah. So yesterday I met with some people that were referred to me, for instance, and we just went through plans and we kind of looked at them. We made what looked like a good decision, and then after the 15th we'll just do their application and get it changed for them. Today I met with some clients, currently mine, they've been with me forever, and their plan looks good for them for next year. Surprisingly enough, they don't need to change, so they're going to stay right where they are. So we're just kind of doing that prep work now, doing some of the legwork. But yes, after the 15th, we can not only meet with you, but also process an application, which is more efficient, arguably, to do it all
at one time.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, for people that are listening on television and all of the different, ads that are out there that are coming at you right and left, the paperwork and all of that.
Sure.
You got to be careful about what you're doing with that. Because a lot of people call, they just don't know the difference.
Yes.
No matter how many times we have talked about it on this show.
All the time. It's interesting. So there's a lot of tactics, and I just don't agree with it. So I'm not going to say it's bad. I just don't agree with it. You get a call on the phone, which they shouldn't be doing anyway. But you'll say, "Oh, my agent's Michael," and they'll say, "Oh yeah, I work with Michael." It's all about building trust and rapport. They're trying to do over the phone. I work with Michael, and so they make you think that we work together. But that's when you get a hold of a call center. I think it's just important to have a local agent. I'll say that again. And it's important to know your options and that kind of thing as well.
What I think is important is, especially when you're calling on those 800 numbers and it's only one carrier that they
Sometimes.
work with, listen, that's going to be the person, that's going to be the plan that they're going to push you in a little bit.
Yeah.
And by the way, seniors are very easily persuaded
yeah.
into doing things. And it's just not good.
Yeah, you'll hear things on the ads that are true. They're there, like you can get your Part B premium paid for, you can get a food card or a gas card. Those kind of things are available, but they're specific plans, and you have to have specific conditions to get them. So they make it sound like everybody can get it, but not necessarily. Some of the plans that help you pay for your Part B, they're going to have higher co-pays and higher costs when you see the doctor. So it just depends on your need, but unless you evaluate it, you have to look behind the curtain, right? So so that's the thing that we want to look at. It's not it's not just what looks good on the surface, but how it's going to work for you.
Right. You got to look behind the curtain and find out what's right for you. And the only way you're going to know really is by talking to somebody who's educated this. I mean, I don't know how long you've been doing what you do, but it's an awful long time.
Seems like forever. I'm tired. No, I
love it. But you love what you do.
I love it.
And I think what you love more than anything is when you help people and you save them, especially, that's when the biggest thing, especially for a senior.
It may not save you a bunch of money, but if we can get you on a plan that you can use and utilize and use effectively, it probably will save you money, first of all, but it will also, it's not just about the money, it's also about peace of mind. You need a plan that you can use, that gives you peace of mind, that you feel good about using, and that you're getting and using all the benefits you're entitled to on that plan.
Well, that's another point right there, the benefits that they're entitled to.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people know what they're entitled to, because I don't think they read what.
Yeah.
So you can help them understand all of that.
Yeah. Well, I've always I've talked to many clients over the years, and over-the-counter stuff is on a lot of these plans where you can go, pick up vitamins and things like that. They give you an allowance for that on some of these plans. And I'll talk to somebody and we look at their plan and I say, oh, you get this, this, and this. And they're like, oh, I didn't even know I had that. And if let's say it's $40, $50 a quarter, that could be $200 a year they're missing out on, for instance.
Right.
And if they're buying those vitamins out of pocket, they're spending that money they don't need to spend.
Isn't that
it's just about using it. It's about knowing what you have, that kind of thing.
It's about talking to somebody who cares about you.
Yep.
And who's going to make sure that they're in your best interest, looking out for you to make sure that you're on the right plan. And this year, of all the years, this is the time to do it. His phone number is 480-847-0701. He services the entire Southwest. And please, please, please leave a message. It's very important to do, right?
If you don't get us, you'll either get Norma, my office manager, or myself at the office if I'm not out on an appointment. The important thing is, I've talked a lot. I feel like I've talked a lot today.
And that's good.
But the important thing is now it's your turn. Give us a call. We can't help you unless you let us help you.
Right. And you know what? And here's another thing I always say. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And so that's why what I love about the show the most is that it gives us people the opportunity to hear someone like you. And you're going to resonate with that person, right, too.
Yep.
That's another thing. Yep. But the most important thing is that you please give them a call so that they can kind of just educate you and find out how can they help you, and make sure that if you're going to be in a different area, that they will give you someone in your area that will also help you just the same way. What are your final words?
Yeah. Give us a call, folks. The ball's in your court. We can't do anything unless you call us. So my call to action for you is to look at your plan this year. Make sure you understand your plan going into next year. It's the most important thing. So at the very least, if you don't call us, read your ANOC letter. Read
the ANOC letter and then make a phone call and let him help you understand exactly what's going on in this new era of Medicare. There are a lot of changes that it might make sense for you to make sure that you do have the right plan so that it works for you. Again, that phone number to call him direct, it's 480-847-0701. He services the entire Southwest. Leave a message. Woo!